Rick Santorum came to my neighborhood to make a campaign stop. I made up a sign for myself and I went to the big city to be a part of history. I arrived at 9 a.m. and staked out an area across the street from the venue where I knew most of the people coming to see the candidate would have to pass. I wore a bright red rain slicker for two reasons. One, because it would help draw attention to my statement, and two, as a shield of my own to keep the Santorum off. The police came over and politely asked me to move my camera closer to the wall. We discussed the fact that I had missed the protest 2 weeks earlier. The Republican governor, John R. Kasich, chose my community to deliver his State of the State address. It was the first such address in the state of Ohio that wasn't delivered in the Capitol in the state's entire history. He's an extremely unpopular governor, and the patrolman told me that they had over 500 protesters. Probably because of my bright red slicker, a number of people asked me for parking directions, and I politely obliged. Once Santorum arrived, I moved to the back of the venue where I knew the attendees would be passing as they left. A bird actually dookied on my sign. Some bird Santorum, right there on my sign. I was alone for most of the time, but shortly before the event ended, I was joined by another man who had seen me protesting alone and decided to help. Only one attendee called us a name: communists. Most were very polite. One nice Santorum supporter stopped and spoke to us for a while. Then the press came over.
Well, today in Steubenville, not everyone was pro-Santorum. In fact, protesters stood quietly outside the building with signs indicating they do not believe he's the right man for the job. 7 News reporter D.K. Wright has more on this story for us from Steubenville.
Outside the Santorum rally, Dan Pilkington held a sign saying Santorum back to the dark ages. Pilkington of Steubenville feels the right-wing candidate would take the nation back to an unfortunate time, for instance, on the issue of gay rights.
This election is the 21st century, and I think he'd be a good candidate for the 1300s, but they didn't have elections then.
Dave Core of Toronto says the abortion issue was used politically. He says the truth is neither side, pro-choice or pro-life, advocates abortions.
Nobody wants to kill babies. It's not. That's not the issue. And contraception is a very gray issue. To call contraception abortion, which is what they do, is insane to say the. And I actually think Santorum has glommed on to this issue as a wedge issue.
He wants to take society back to a time when women didn't have contraception and abortion was in the back alleys of society. And he talks about, if a woman is raped, that she should think of herself as being blessed.
Inside, hundreds applauded and cheered the ultra-conservative candidate, but not everyone feels Santorum should be the next president.
I don't think that Rick Santorum is the best choice for president by any stretch of the imagination, and he's certainly not even the best candidate the Republicans are putting forward. The Republicans have gotten into this unfortunate spiral where they're going for anybody but Mitt Romney.
Reporting in Steubenville for 7 News, I'm D.K. Wright.
All right, DK, thanks a lot. Here's some background for you on Rick Santorum. He's 53 years old and was born in 1958 in Winchester, Virginia. He and his wife, Karen, married in 1990, and together they have 8 children. He served as a U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania from 1995 to 2007. Now, this brings us to the results of our Anonymous Security Web Poll question from the .com desk. We wanted to know, would you vote for Rick Santorum for president? 42% of you said yes, while 58% still said no.